So taking our time to go a bit deeper, and kind of like a little bit like yin, where we're just taking our time to go deeper into the body, to really start to listen to the breath. We're giving the body time to release, because you know, muscles, they also they also need a bit of time to adjust to a new pose. So, and that's what we also do in the yin session. So you said hips and back. So then I would say, like, we're really starting kind of like a lot of twists today, a lot of holds. I would also love to work a little bit on forward folds, and a bit of hip opening. Does that sound like something you can get behind? Good. And let's see, like, I have a look at time-wise, because maybe we could do a little yoga nidra towards the end, because I always think that's kind of a nice way to end. And then if you're online and you're already like in your room, you can just stay and relax. You don't even have to come like switch off. Good. So let me just, I think like we're gonna start in a seated position. I would like to start seated today. Everyone is muted, so if anyone comes in a little bit later, I'll have them come in afterwards. Good. So at the moment, I find it really important to just start with tuning back in. Just seeing like how am I doing right now? So allow yourself a moment to sit comfortably. Does anyone need a block? No, you're good? Okay. So allow yourself a moment to close your eyes. And in today's lunch class, I already did this kind of practice, because we have kind of like two systems right now that might be affected on how we're doing. And one is the physical system. I invite you to just take a moment and see, like, when you check in with your body, how do you feel? Like, how would you rate your energy level on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being very low and 10 being quite well, and you feel like really good and a lot of energy? And you can also put in there, like, do you feel like any tension? Do you feel like tiredness? Like, how are you doing today? And then the other system is kind of like the mental, psychological system. Like, how are you doing mentally? Like, how is your energetic level when it comes to how you're feeling? And a lot of times, these two systems, they overlap, right? Like, if you feel mentally quite tired, oftentimes you feel physically tired as well, but it's not always the same. Sometimes we might feel a bit sick, but mentally we're quite here, or the other way around. Maybe we feel quite tired, but we don't feel like any tension. So if you check in with those two systems, like, are they aligned? And then how much would you rate them right now? And then also take a moment to just check in with your breath. Is your breath, how would you rate your breath today? Is your breath quite relaxed, quite deep, or do you feel like it's a bit of a struggle to slow down the breath, to deepen the breath? What do you say? Like, how would you rate your breath? And maybe just by thinking about your breath, you're starting to slow down. Remember, the breath is one of the easiest way to calm down the nervous system. It's a beautiful access to immediately start to guide your energetic system to either pick up or slow down. Good. And then you can slowly come back to the present. And we're gonna start lying down. You can just gently lie down. Good. And you're just taking a moment to bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And just check in with yourself. How is it to be here on your mat? How is your back? And then we're just gently starting to move our knees. We're just gonna circle out the lower back, just with both knees together. You can just making little circles on your lower back. We're just gonna start waking up the spine a little bit. Nothing too crazy, nothing too extreme. And then we're going the other way around. Good. And then from here, slowly, slowly, place your legs back down to the floor. So we're starting with a pose that's called Banana Asana. This pose is about to lengthen the side body. So we're gonna take a deep breath in and we're gonna draw the arms over our head. And then we're gonna bring the feet towards the left side and the hands and arms towards the left side as well. I'm just gonna take off the pullover, it's a bit in the way. Yes, so you look a bit like a little half moon, or as I said, as a little banana. So. And probably this pose is nothing crazy. It's not too intense, it's not anything, but it's just a nice way to stretch the fascia on the outer side. If you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, place your right leg on top of the left. You might find that this gives you a bit of an extra stretch. And then while you're in this little banana pose, just take a moment to arrive, exploring the right side, exploring the quality of your breath. You know, this might sound funny, but I find this is such a cute pose. It's kind of like a really innocent pose, like just a little banana, a little half moon, just giving our body a way to stretch, nothing too complex. And it's such a nice way to create space in the whole right side. And I really invite you to guide your breath also to the right rib cage. Good. And then from here, slowly, slowly come back. And we're just going to bring our arms over to the right. Same thing with our legs. Again, if you feel like you need a stronger stretch, you're just lifting your left foot on top of the right. Deep breaths here. Just allowing yourself a little bit of space into your body. Good, and then from here, slowly, slowly come back. Bring your knees into your chest. And we're gonna come into a little bit of a deeper twist. So we're gonna bring the arms to the side and we're just gonna let the knees sink towards the left. Bring your left hand on top of your knees and turn your head towards the right hand. So we're gonna stay here for a little bit longer. And depending on how tight you feel in your back, you might find that this is a really easy pose. Or maybe you notice that just while you're checking your body, that there is still a bit of tension that you're holding. So I find that like my thoracic spines around the shoulder blade is quite tight today for some reason. And maybe I can also not relax my right chest and shoulder just so easily. So I'm really trying to breathe into that area. Consciously allowing yourself to relax, to slow down. You can feel this kind of like melting process. Slowly, slowly, you're letting go. There's nothing you have to hold on to. You're just allowing yourself a moment to relax. When was the last time you could just relax? You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to do anything. And you know, sometimes when we do yin poses like this, where we're just holding, in the beginning, we can feel our mind coming up with all kinds of thoughts. You have to do this, we should do that, this is important, have you done this? I shouldn't be doing nothing, there's so much else I have to do. And if you notice these kind of thoughts coming up, thank them and let them go. Because also, you know, all these kinds of thoughts that we have, they're always trying the best thing to make us happy. It's just not always the perfect strategy for us. See if you can already feel a little bit of a change. Is your back slowly starting to relax a little bit more? Do you maybe feel different sensations in a different area of your body all of a sudden? Because this is sometimes what happens when one group of muscles is starting to relax, we start to notice another group of muscles being activated. And then from here, very, very slowly, start to come back into the center. Give yourself some time. And maybe by coming back, you notice like, oh yeah, there was a bit of a twist in our spine. I can feel that now. And then you're letting your knees sink towards the right side. Make sure your feet stay underneath your knees. You can bring your right hand on top of the knee and you're turning your head towards the left hand. How are you doing in this position? Giving yourself permission to sink deeper and deeper. If you can, use your Ujjayi breathing, softening slowly, steady. So this pose is all about opening up the side again, stretching out the hip, the lower back, the chest. Good. And then from here, slowly, slowly again, come back. Give yourself some time to arrive in the center, using a moment to just roll out, release. And then from here, we're gonna bring the feet together and we're gonna let the knees sink out to the side. You have two options. You can either have your arms to the side in a cactus shape with the palms facing up, elbows on the level of your shoulders, or you can have your hand on your belly and the other hand, preferably the left hand, on your heart. And then give yourself permission to listen to the breath. Notice the beauty of this steady rhythm flowing in and out. And to me, this is a beautiful pose. It's really one of those poses that are just so pure and wonderful, with like our heart being open and the hips and the belly. There's this purity to this pose of just allowing ourselves to open up, to receive, to nourish. And while you're being in this pose, allow yourself a moment to think about something that you're grateful for in your life right now. It's very easy to think about all the things that are not working the way we want them to work, but in all our lives, there's also a lot of beauty and blessing. So if you think about your life, like what is something that you right now are grateful for, that makes you smile, that makes you feel like, oh, this is really a blessing in my life. It can be something small, like that you can get out of bed in the morning, that you're having a body that allows you to practice yoga, that you can breathe freely. Maybe it is a pet or a relationship in your life that you're grateful for. Maybe it's your practice or your work or your family. Practicing gratitude regularly has been proven to be very healing for the body, for the mind. And when we think about things that we're grateful for, we can feel a moment that we're relaxing. Maybe you can feel the face relax a little bit. There's a weight falling off our shoulders. And if you have one thought, can also be more than one, that of what you're grateful for, let it travel through the body. Imagine that you can let this gratitude travel and vibrate through all of the cells within your body. Good. If you need a little bit of help for your hips to come back, you can bring your hands underneath your thighs and just bring your knees back into your chest, and then give yourself a little hug. And from here, we're just gonna roll over to our favorite side. And we're coming gently back up into a seated position. Good. Did you have a thought of what you're grateful for? It's nice, no? You know, I think like we're very, present company included, we're very used to think about all the things that are not working. We sometimes really forget about how lucky we still are. Good, so we're gonna come towards the hips. So we're gonna, Nico, wenn es dir zu krass ist, einfach sagen. We're gonna bring the right shin in front, and then we're gonna bring the left knee on top. So try to have them parallel to the short side of the mat. Should your knee do something like this, just place the top leg in front. And then from here, we're gonna inhale and exhale. We're slowly starting to sink forward, and you should get a nice stretch in your left butt cheek. Can you feel that? Good. Letting your head relax. Yeah, I think like I told you this story once of like we were going to Geneva for a tennis tournament, and our friends had booked this Airbnb in France, and they were like, "Oh, it's looking amazing, and it has a pool and everything." And then when we arrived there, it was like the most horrible place on the planet. I swear, our room smelled so much like mothballs. Like I could not imagine leaving my child in that room. So we had to find, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, we had to find a hotel room, and the only hotel that was available, that was also price-wise available, was this kind of like a bit rundown hotel near the Autobahn. And we were in this room, and I was like, oh, like it's not very pretty, and like, nah, nah, nah. And then I was lying in my bed, and I was thinking about how lucky we still were, because we had a clean bed, we had a safe room, our child was sleeping, and it was safe. And it's so easy to get upset about things that don't work the way we want them to work, right? Whether this is in our practice, whether this is in our everyday life, it's very easy to get swept away by it. And then when we find our way back to having a different angle at situations, it also offers us a lot of room to grow. And the same thing is also true with the situation right now. We're practicing yoga, and yoga is always about acceptance. And then when everything goes your way in life, it's very easy to be accepting. The challenge is, can you stay calm and peaceful if things are not exactly the way you want them to be? Can you still find a sense of peace and purpose in times that are a bit more trying? And also, so now when you're in this practice right now, can you find, okay, I think my child is like crashing the room on the other side. Can you find the beauty and the space in the pose? And maybe you find like, after a while, like your muscles are letting go and you can sink a little bit deeper. It's not my baby that is being loud. Again, always find your way back to the breath. It's your breath that is your best friend, that is really helping you to go deep. And then from here, we're slowly, slowly finding our way out. Take your time. It can sometimes happen that your feet fall asleep in this pose if you do it for a little bit. Good. And then we're just going to change. Then we're going to place the left shin down. Right shin comes on top. Again, if your knee doesn't really want to do that, bring your foot in front. Take a deep breath in and exhale again. Start to sink forward. And you can check, maybe you feel like the side is a little bit harder to stretch, or maybe it feels a lot more relaxed. Make sure your shoulders and your neck is relaxed. Really giving yourself permission to let go. Maybe you can feel how you're slowly starting to sink a little bit deeper, how you're going a bit deeper into this pose. almost done. Just a few more breaths. Good. And then from here, gently, gently start to come back up. Good. And then from here, we're just gonna open the legs. And you can probably already guess what's coming. We're starting to sink a little bit more forward. And remember, like, we haven't done too crazy of a hip opening yet. So it's not necessary that you're like lying flat on the ground. You just go as far as you can. By the way, this is a really good pose to do if you're watching TV. Super great to stretch out the hip. And as you can see, like, I sometimes like to start this pose by just wiggling a little bit into the pose. Deep breaths here. Remember that we sometimes we're working with our mantras. Inhaling space, exhaling, letting go. Inhaling space, exhaling, letting go. Inhaling space, exhale, release. If you feel a little bit of tension around the knees, have your knees slightly bent or bring the feet just a tiny bit further inwards. Noticing how you seem to be melting little by little. One more minute. Don't worry, 1 more minute sounds way longer than it actually is. Check in with yourself again, whether your shoulders and your neck are relaxed. Is there anywhere where you're still holding back, or can you feel like, no, I'm actually really giving in to the pose, I'm no longer resisting? Good, and then from here, slowly, slowly starting to come back. Good, bring your hands underneath your knees and gently, gently come back. Good. Can you do a little bit more hip? Good, we're gonna bend the right knee and we're gonna place we're gonna bend the left knee and we're gonna bring the right knee on top. Good. Here, I'm giving you two options. And with the two options, you really have like two different goals in a way. So option number one is you can bring your left hand onto the floor. Just watch me first. Left hand onto the floor, right arm over towards the left. This practice is to stretch here. You can also have your hand on the floor, then it's more about stretching the neck. The other practice is to lean forward. So this is again to stretch out the hip. So you can check in with yourself what you feel like you need right now. Do you need to work a little bit more on the hip, or do you want to work a little bit more on the side body? And remember, whenever we work with the shoulder, it's not like we're pulling the hand over, it's we're gliding. We're gliding from here. This is like where the movement comes from. And then let your head relax. And again, just taking deep breaths here. So this is working on our QL, the quadratus lumborum here in the waist. You can feel that stretch, that opening. It's also lengthening the area around your shoulder and your neck. If you feel like after a while, like your arm gets really heavy and you want to stretch out your neck as well, you can bring your right hand towards the right side if that is something you prefer. Otherwise, you're just going to hold it here for a few more breaths. Good, and then very, very slowly start to come back up, taking your time. And we're just gonna change the legs. Just gonna change the sides. Again, if you prefer leaning forward to stretch out the hips, you can do that. Otherwise, slowly, slowly, bring your right hand onto the floor or right lower arm and gently sinking deeper. Letting your head relax. Again, remember to, you kind of like glide from the side body forward. Letting your head relax, feeling that gentle stretch in the neck. And you might notice it after a while, you see like, oh yeah, there's more relaxation coming into this pose. A few more breaths. Good, and then very, very slowly start to come back out. Good. And release. And then from here, we're gonna come on to our knees. Just gonna place the balls away. We're just going to start moving our spine a little bit, trying to release the back, the neck. Good. And then from here, slowly, slowly bring your hands forward. And then bring your chin or forehead down to the floor, depending on how deep you can go into this pose. So this is all about opening the chest, stretching out the shoulders, and creating mobility in your upper back. And you're trying to let your chest sink deeper and deeper towards the floor. Imagine that you're melting into this shape. Few more breaths here. Maybe you start to notice that the pose is starting to change, that there is a shift happening. Good, and then from here, you're slowly letting your hips sink back and you're coming into child's pose. You can decide whether you want to have your hands forward or whether you prefer having them to the side. Sometimes I like to have them by the side after puppy pose, just to have a contrast. Good, and then from here, slowly, slowly starting to come up, coming back onto all fours. And from here, just come onto all fours. We're just gonna release the neck a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just make a little bit of a U shape with our chin. We're just gonna make a U shape from side to side. And then we're gonna look down and we're just gonna shake out the head. And then from here, we're gonna inhale. Okay, my hair looks great. I look like one of those shaggy dogs. We're gonna look up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Good. And then from here, we're gonna start releasing the shoulders. So we're gonna take a deep breath in. We're gonna bring the right arm up. And exhale, we're gonna place the right arm underneath the left shoulder. We're letting the head relax. And we're gonna bring the left arm forward. And then in this pose again, you're trying to relax your upper back. You're relaxing your shoulder. Let your eyes stay closed. You're just sinking into this new shape. This is all about opening the chest. So before we were working on opening the hip area, and now we're working on releasing the shoulder and chest area. If you feel like you want to try another version of this pose is you're bringing your left hand behind your lower back onto the right thigh. But it's really up to you. I sometimes find the pose really helpful, and other times I find that the first version, I don't know, is a bit more about length. So again, remember that oftentimes when you have two versions of a pose, it's actually two kind of poses with two different results. So it always depends on like what you need in that very moment. How is your left side? Like, do you feel a stretch? Do you feel a release in the spine? Do you maybe even feel like a sense of calmness coming into you now that you're starting to hold those poses for a longer period of time? Use your Ujjayi breath to sink deeper and deeper, allowing yourself to relax. Have your left arm straight forward. If you're not having it on your lower back or behind your leg, like place it to the front, really creating that length along the left side. And then slowly, slowly bring your left hand back, very gently, coming back onto all fours, taking our time, coming back into this position, and slowly, slowly finding our way back into a child's pose. Again, giving yourself permission to release, stretching out the lower hips and the lower back. And maybe you can start to notice a sense of calmness arising within you. And you know, in the spiritual practice, we believe that there is a part within us that's called the higher self, and that part is very different from our everyday life. That part of us is ancient, as old as time. And that higher self is always at peace because it is resting in a different state of consciousness that is knowing, it's in the present. And I find that sometimes when we practice yoga like this, then we get that connection back, that there is a part of us that is calm, that is trusting, that is present. And we don't often activate or connect to that part in our everyday life because we're so busy. But once you have time and you give yourself permission to be calm, that voice within you becomes a bit louder. And then from here, slowly come up onto all fours. And we're gonna just do the other side. We're gonna lift the left arm up. And exhale, we're placing the left arm underneath the right shoulder. And we're gonna bring the right hand forward. And again, in this pose, try to relax your shoulders, try to relax the face. We're sometimes coming into these poses with a bit of tension, and then we're just giving ourselves permission, little by little, to let go of that tension. If you want to do a second version, bring your right hand behind your lower back onto your left thigh. And slowly, slowly bring your right hand back down. Again, very slowly come out onto all fours. See if there's any movement you need to do, any kind of release for your spine. So cute, you all look so sleepy. Good, and then from here, we're just gonna find our way into the downward facing dog. Taking a moment to find our down dog here, giving yourself permission to stretch, to release. You can roll over your toes. Gently, gently come forward into your plank and find your way back down. And from here, we're gonna come into Sphinx. So we're gonna place the lower arms onto the floor. You can do Sphinx either with your head looking down, or you can have it up. That is up to you, but you wanna try to relax your spine. You're just wiggling the hips. So this pose is again about smoothing your spine, taking away pressure from your spine and your back, and at the same time opening the chest. Can you feel the energy flowing in and out? You know, in yoga, we always talk about the importance of a healthy spine. Your body can only be healthy if your spine is healthy. And we believe that there are energetic points along the spine and energy is flowing up and down. Guys, I'm just gonna tell my boyfriend that he has to keep it down outside because he's playing with the kiddo. Okay, he disappeared. I think he heard me. Can you hear them a lot? Is it okay? Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna come into one last chest and shoulder opening pose. So we're gonna, how do I show this the best way? Like we're gonna bring the right arm out to the side with the palm facing down like this. Then you're gonna bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder. You're turning towards the right hand. You bring your right knee in front of your navel. Right knee in front of the navel, like in this 90-degree angle. And then you're placing your left foot behind the right knee so that your left knee points up towards the ceiling and your head is on the floor. See, completely natural pose. You don't spend all of your Saturday evenings like that, no? So this pose is all about, again, opening the chest, creating space around the heart and the shoulder. Allow your eyes to remain closed. And this is one of these poses that can feel quite intense. So maybe you feel a lot of resistance, but then try to just breathe. Usually, like when we breathe, everything becomes a little bit easier. If you feel like you need a more intense version, you can bring your left hand behind your back, but that is optional. Let your head relax. How does that pose feel to you right now? How do you feel in the pose? And these are two different questions. One is like, how do you feel? Like, how does the pose feel? And it's like, I can feel it in my shoulder. I can feel it in my back. This feels quite tight, or this feels actually really nice. And then the other part is like, how do you feel in the pose? Maybe you feel like, oh, I feel there's like a sense of strength or power within me, or I feel actually really relaxed, or I feel a bit anxious about the intensity of it. Good, and then from here, lengthen the right leg again, very, very slowly. Come back onto your belly. And bring your hands in front of your head. Let your head rest for a moment. If you like, you can swing again with your hips from side to side. And then from here, we're going to lengthen the left arm out. We're going to bring the right hand underneath our chest. Good, we're going to bring the left knee in front of our belly button, and we're going to bring the right foot behind the left knee. Again, if you want to have it more intense, you're just going to bring your right hand behind your back. And in this pose again, make sure you're relaxing your neck, your throat, your face, your shoulders.
You can see like, what does the pose offer you today? What wisdom does it share with you? Stay here for a few more breaths. We're allowing ourselves to sink deeper and deeper. We're letting go of any resistance. This is our new shape. This is our new normal. This is where we are meant to be at this moment in time. Thirty more seconds. And then from here, slowly, slowly come back. Bring your right hand back down. Gently, gently lying down onto the belly. Bring your hands again in front of you. Let your head rest on the hands. And then from here, come one last time into your child's pose. Make it a wide-legged child's pose. So where your knees are apart, your toes are still touching, but your knees are apart. If you want to have a different version of your child's pose, this is optional, is you can place your hands behind your head. So that gives you a bit more of a stretch around your upper arms. Good. And then from here, slowly, slowly start to come back into seated position. So we're gonna come now towards the meditation part. I don't think I'm gonna make a yoga nidra, but it's still gonna be like a bit of a body scan. For you girls here, if you feel like you wanna have a bolster underneath your neck, underneath your back or your knees, see, that's when you gonna knees or your back, get a bolster. If you need a blanket, take a blanket. For you at home, really make sure that you're comfortable. You can use a blanket, you can use pillows. Give yourself a few moments to arrive in a comfortable lying down position. I will turn down one light here. And then just allow yourself to lie on your back. Here you go. Brauchst du mehr als eine? Möchtest du auch noch eine Decke? Ja, oder? Blankets are great. You can also use a blanket underneath you. If you're having the bolster like this underneath your back, take a block underneath the top of the bolster. It will be a bit softer. Good. All right. And then allow yourself to close your eyes, just becoming comfortable in your position. Giving yourself a moment to get warm, relaxed. And then allow your eyes to close. I am calm. I am calming down. My whole body is relaxed. And imagine that you find yourself on a beautiful place. It can be in the mountains or in the forest or right by the sea. It can be a place that you know, that you have been before. Or it can be a place of your imagination. And in that place, you're allowing yourself to lie down on the ground. Looking up to the beautiful blue sky. Feeling the warmth of the sun on your face. And you can feel yourself at peace in that beautiful space that is just for you. And then while you're lying there, you can feel and see a beautiful ball of white and golden light floating towards you from the sky above. And as you sense the ball coming closer, you can feel its healing, loving energy pulsing towards you. And slowly, slowly, the ball is approaching you. And it gently touches the top of your head. And where the light touches you, it starts to flow its beautiful healing energy into your body. It starts to fill your forehead, your eyes and your temples. It flows into your nose and your cheeks and your ears. It fills your lips and your jaw and your chin. And you can feel a slight tingle on the face wherever the light is flowing. And it starts to flow down into your throat and into your neck, washing away any tension. And from there, it starts to flow into your heart space. And it starts to fill your heart with a sense of peace and relaxation. It starts to flow into your shoulders, fills your right upper arm, your right elbow and your right lower arm. It flows into your right wrist and into your right hand and all the fingers. And it gently starts to fill your left shoulder, your left upper arm, your left elbow, your left lower arm, and the hand and all the fingers. And then you can feel it flow along the whole upper back, around the shoulder blades and the muscles around the shoulder blades, along the spine and the spinal cord. And it floats into the middle back and down into your lower back. And you can feel that energy swirl along the whole back into every single muscle, smoothing all the tension. And from there, it starts to flow into your belly region, bringing that healing, loving light into all of your organs, to the belly, the stomach, the kidneys, the lungs. You can feel it vibrating through the body. And then it flows further down into your pelvis region, releasing any tension in the pelvis area, in the hip area. And then it flows into your right thigh, from there to the right knee, to the right calf and the right shin, down into the right ankle, the right heel and the right foot and all the toes. Filling your whole right leg with that healing, loving energy. And then it flows into your left thigh, to your left knee, your left shin, and your left calf. It flows into your left ankle, your left heel, and down into your whole left foot and all the toes. And you can feel that loving, healing light flowing up and down your whole body, filling every single cell with new energy, washing away any tension, any tiredness, any sadness, any kind of energy that no longer serves you. And fill it with energy and love, replenishing your energy. And while you're lying here, feeling completely at peace, you're slowly sensing a different part of yourself, your higher self, that part of you that has always been and will always be. It is as old as the universe itself. It is as wise as the universe. And you can ask it, do you have a message for me today? What wisdom can you share with me in this very moment? What is it your higher self wants to share with you today? And maybe you can hear a clear thought, a clear message. Or maybe there's just a sense of calmness coming through you. Whatever experience you have, take a moment to take it all in. Knowing that you're safe and at peace, the right place at the right time, with all the wisdom of the universe within you. And then slowly, slowly, you're ready to come back to the here and now. You're bringing your focus back to the present, noticing the ground beneath you, feeling the breath flowing in and out. And gently, gently, you're starting to take deeper breaths. You're starting to move your toes and your fingers, or simply move whichever way your body wants to move. Let your body move, let it share its wisdom with you. Take your time waking up. And whenever you feel ready, you slowly, slowly find your way back into a seated position. You can keep your eyes still closed. And whenever you feel ready, you're slowly bringing your hands in front of the heart. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. I thank you so much for joining today. From my heart to yours. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're feeling a little bit relaxed, a little bit recharged, filled with your inner wisdom. And from here, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, also for tuning in at home. I hope you can feel a little bit replenished as well. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your evening. Ciao, ciao.